Hello guys, I want to welcome you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys having a great morning out there. I know this is a little bit unclear. Hopefully you guys can bear with me. I'm streaming simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. If you guys haven't already checked me out, make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe. And also check out the content which is over there as well. This video is pertaining to a munadhara that I had with an individual, a debate, that I had with an individual, individual participants or viewers in his chat room. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a guy by the name of Christian Prince. I think he go by different alias names and he have different YouTube channels. But just to give you a little feedback, what I've learned from this guy here is he loved to attack religion, specifically Islam. He claims to be a Christian. And you know, what is funny is he's throwing rocks from a glass house. He's trying to debunk or refute the claims in the Quran and also in the Hadith to try to refute Islam. But because he has one above his audience, which is the language, because he speaks Arabic, his viewers trust him. And they trust what he say, or they take what he say a little bit more serious because of the language. And he would translate, like for example, there's a few ways of saying things. He would simply try to say it out of context in a way that can prove his point. And then at the same time, he considered himself a Christian. He'll start cursing out Allah or start cursing out the religion. Okay, there's one thing when we see a lot of these atheists who do it. We see a lot of these commission folks who do it. We see a lot of these so-called conscious folks who cuss out God, but they don't have any belief. But when you have a fellow Christian or a fellow Abrahamic follower, who claims to be a man of God, even if he disagree with the Quran or he disagree with the premise of the Quran, you will simply express your concerns or express your views in a respectful manner, so it can be digested by those whom you wish to you wish for your information to be received by. And I think he lacks that. He lacks wisdom. So anyways, what I want to let you guys know is me and him, he's going to get back to the States. He's out of state. We definitely going to have a discussion. Christian Prince, we're setting that up. I definitely want to have a talk with you. But, you know, a few guys asked me about having a discussion with this guy before. And I was kind of reluctant. I kept saying no because, you know, there are specific people whom I'm targeting in regards to conscience and awakening, and Allah can use me for any and everyone. But the reason why I say a specific people, because there's a dire need for it in certain places that are not exposed to knowledge, that are not exposed to understanding, and ways that I feel that I can provide from a Islamic perspective, even on my basic understanding. You know, I felt that I can help in that particular area. However, I'm willing to be used, and I'm willing to do other things. It does not just, you know, stop here. It does not just here. Okay, I hope you guys can see my screen. I'm not sure if you can see my screen. This was a concern that a few of them had was. I heard, okay, let me go back a little bit. I heard maybe 3 or 4 people debate Christian Prince. I can't stand to listen to this dude more than 5 or 4 minutes, and I'm sure most Muslims can relate to what I'm saying here. For the simple reason is the ad hominem attacks, the vulgar speech. I mean, he has to use curse words, and he's always trying to curse out Allah. And as an Arab, he should know, if you go to any Arab world as a Christian, when they refer to God, they refer to God as Allah. And when Christians say praise be to God, they say Alhamdulillah. They use the same terms that Muslims use with a different understanding. So what he did to his audience, since they don't know this and they don't have primary sources, nor do they speak Arabic, he played with language, with different terms linguistically with his audience, and he'll play with them by saying this means this, and this is what the Quran says in this passage. And because they're just like, I mean, they're like a flute. They just dancing to the tune that he's blowing out for them. So what I want to do is I want to set the language aside, and I want to deal with the information. What is the Quran actually saying? And also I want to deal with timelines, and I want to deal with context. I'm going to say this right off the back for record's sake. Before we have this discussion, before this take place between me and this brother, I want to go ahead and say this. I want to only deal with the information. I'm not going to be digging in sources from opinions from scholars, even though he liked to quote Ibn Kathir, Al-Qurtubi, Ibn Abbas, said, these are your scholars, these are the one who you respect. No, Islam, the Quran comes from Allah. I do believe, I'm one of those Muslims who believe that there could have been changes in our hadith. I don't believe that everything's authentic like even these the ancient classical scholars claim, or even the modern day scholars claim. Allah told us to use our intellect and our wisdom and our mind, and my brain does not lead me to that conclusion, even though I have respect for their work and I have respect for the things that they do. My understanding comes with the Quran. If any hadith is consistent with the Quran, it does not contradict any verse of the Quran, willing to accept it for its explanation, that's considering or providing that hadith also come with a strong chain. Even if a hadith comes with a strong train, if it's not in support of any verse in the Quran, I don't care what verse it may be, I will dismiss it, nor would I accept it. And I think this needs to be understood. So just want to say that. The second thing is, I should have got his information on Facebook. Anybody got Christian Prince information on Facebook? Let me know. Send me his link, because I think we need to have this discussion. He's an Arab guy. I'm not sure what part of the Arab world he's from, but I think it's easy to have a lot of followers. I learned how this YouTube thing and this Facebook thing work. I came into this thing thinking that we can have sincere talks and discussions. People will be truthful and in their their journey for truth. And what I came to find out is a lot of people are here using the Bible, the Quran, and other antics and the Commission doctrine and all of this new conscious black movement, all these other movements, just for money, for wealth, for AdSense, for YouTube likes, for comments. And that has never been my motivation behind this. So I would like for this brother to change his frame or state of mind when coming into this, and leave all this nonsense, all that him attacks aside, and even if he wants to, we can even have a more intellectual discussion. We can exchange information through email, so we can know exactly what we'll be talking about, and we'll have time to prove our points and to make sure that we have a proper discourse. Even if you're willing to do that, or we can just wing it. We can get on and just, discuss a few things of your premise and where you stand and where I stand, just so we can get some understanding. I won't lie to you. I only watch you a few times, so I really don't know your background. I really don't know your standpoint. All I see is you open up the Quran and misinterpreting and interpolating verses in the Quran in a way that you feel fit. And as a Christian, it's very inconsistent, because there's over 1,000 contradictions in the Bible, and you don't see Muslims sitting there attacking Christians head on every time about it. We try to come in a respectful manner. You get a few bad apples who do that, but the bigger, large majority try to be respectful in his approach. And this is the teachings of our prophet, just as your prophet taught you to evangelize people in a respectful manner. But you failed to be a person of your teachings. That's okay. when you get on this camera and we have this talk, I think I'll wait then to intellectually spank you for the mishap and the falsehood and all the bad things that you've been teaching on your channel and to those viewers at large. But so until next time, peace.